Good evening and welcome to the 2025-2026 ACMi Arlington Community Media annual meeting. This is our 19th annual meeting and we're glad to have with us tonight Norm McLeod, our Executive Director, our Board of Director members, our new clerk, Phil Privatera, Michael Ruderman, Michael Jacoby Brown, Kevin Cafferty, and Frank Auer. We're your board. I'm John Leone. I'm the board president. Unfortunately, I've been here for all 19 of these meetings. So I'm kind of an old hat at it. We want to state on behalf of the board to thank Norm and our crew, our staff members, for the wonderful work they've done this year under under what we consider tight financial position for the company. We've experienced, as I'm getting into the treasurer's report, due to the cable cutters, we have experienced a decrease in revenue, but we have a new staff member, Leslie Norman, who is helping us out with that endeavor to get more grants and things like this. And the town of Arlington has helped us out a little this year, and we're going to see how we do, 1 year at a time. As far as the finances of the company, we have once again finished off our year in good position. We've had our annual audit successfully completed, and we are once again levels funded, and we have passed all the IRS requirements for financial management. So with that, I'm going to throw it over to Norm and let him kind of pick up from there.
All right, thank you, John. May swing this around. Okay. First of all, I want to thank you folks for coming out on a very, very cold night and no parking, or very little parking as a result of that. But thank you all for being here. The Chinese have a little phrase that says, "May you live in interesting times." This past year has been very interesting times for ACMi. It's been very difficult at the beginning of the year, in particular, because we had a resignation, and it was our production person who had resigned. She went on to bigger and better things, went on to Harvard. How's that? And a lot of the production aspects of ACMi fell on one person, as Jeff Monroe. I think many of you, those of you who are watching, for example, I'm sure you know Jeff. We all know Jeff. But Jeff was running himself ragged. And as I said in my report, for the annual report, he was turning himself into a pretzel, trying to cover everything. And everything also included coverage on the part of the youth coordinator. We did not have a youth coordinator at the same time. So we kept ACMi going, but we looked ahead financially and we recognized that this was not sustainable. So we decided to talk to the town. This is unusual for a nonprofit organization such as ourselves to be approaching the town for financial assistance. Did talk to FinCom several times, a lot of budgets went back and forward, discussions went back and forward. We finally ended up at town meeting and asked the town if they would approve a warrant article to give us some money for bridge money, let's call it that. and they did. They came up with $100,000 for us to carry us through this coming year. So the bridge money was there, and the question is, who do I hire first? The first person I hired was somebody to take the burden off Jeff, and that was Stuart Relke. And if you haven't seen him or talked with him here tonight, he's the gentleman who put this together. And he's a fabulous designer, and he's very particular about what he's putting together. Very articulate, creative young man. So I hope you can talk with him later as we finish this meeting. The next individual, I should say, I decided to hire was the replacement for a youth coordinator, and in that case we have Yasmina Birlenou, and I loved it because on her resume, in her application, she said, "By the way, I do speak Romanian." I've never met somebody who can speak Romanian. It's fabulous. She's a wonderful person, gets along so well with the students, And I'm sure you'll enjoy talking with her when she arrives right now. I say arrives because she's actually over at the school right now working with the students, but she should be here hopefully by 7:20, 7:30, something like that. The next person I needed to hire, we had another resignation. It was our administrator person. And she left, and I hired Josh Guichari. How's that? I said it right, I think, Josh. Guichari, and he was our administrative assistant. I say was because last week he is so good in terms of production and what he is able to do. We just made him the part-time news producer. And we're hoping that in the next budget year, we'll be able to hire him on a full-time basis. So we'll get back to what we were doing in a number of years past, as a full-time news production, using this same set that you may be seeing here. Maybe not. Oh, I don't think you can't see it with that camera. But we're hoping that, we can hire him and other people on a full-time basis. The last person, but not the least person that was hired, because we know that we need to change our approach to fundraising. We're nonprofit, but all of the access stations in the country are struggling because the income coming from cable funders is declining. And it's just because people are cutting the cable and everybody's going to stream right now. So we need to change the way we approach our funding. And so we hired a woman by the name of Leslie Norman. And I hired her specifically because her last name is the same as mine. Let's get that out of the way right now, okay? But no, Leslie has worked for PBS in many different capacities. So she's a broad understanding of broadcast. She understands the financial aspects of it. She's been the chief executive officer at PBS. She's also been executive producer, senior producer, lots of experience, and was so happy to have her on board. The other aspect the other part of her job actually is to help us focus on fundraising. And so next week we will be having a retreat at the home of our communications manager, James Milan. And we're going to be talking a lot about changing the way ACMi is working, how we're operating, both in terms of fundraising and also internal structure as well. So I'm glad Leslie brought up that suggestion. I think it's going to be very advantageous for us. And in the future, I think it's going to be a benefit to the ACMi. The fundraising aspect is going to be growing. It's a slow process. Every other access station I've spoken to confirms this. Fundraising is very slow. Everybody wants money. And for us to maintain our position here as not the eyes and ears, but like a mirror to the Arlington community, we need to maintain the operational side, meaning the building, the heat, all of that, plus obviously salaries, plus anything else that we need to expend. We have to be careful about what we're expending, but Leslie's going to help us focus in on that. So you'll meet her in a little while. I mentioned earlier that the one person who is really trying to keep ACMi going was Jeff Monroe. So on that note, I'd like, let's have Jeff Monroe come out and let us know what he has been up to.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for being here. I know it's difficult to get out in this weather, but I am so glad you all are here. I wanted to thank all the staff for rushing to get everything done and looking good. Stuart, this looks great, by the way. Yeah. This book is fantastic. So, but putting this together is a lot of work. And James, thank you again for all the work you do, making us all sound so good. But I ask you all to read this. Those that are watching on TV, these are available on our website. You can go and look at our annual report. It may not be posted yet, but it will be soon. And I just wanted to take this time because I don't want to steal the thunder of the other staff members that are coming up. They've edited some videos and things like that. But one of the things I'm excited about is this year coming up, is a big one for us as ACMi. We're going to be heading into our 20th year. But this wraps up my 25th year in Arlington Cable TV. So, and I explain this, but this is a great time to kind of look back. So I'm encouraging you, there's a little call to action for you all to help out. There's going to be some documentary projects going on, researching Arlington Cable over the years, and different producers visiting some of the staff members that have been involved over the years, and seeing where they are now, interns that are out working in the professional field that got their start here at ACMi, and some of our youth program students are, working with Major League Baseball, across the country, and engineers on big production trucks. So it's really exciting as we look forward to this exciting future that we're heading into, but also to look back and say, look at all we've done. So that's kind of what I want to do this year. And one of the things I want to share with you is the pride that I hope you feel, but I feel, is when we do things together, it just feels so much better, right? So we've done projects big and small. Sometimes it's one person behind a camera, just getting a meeting or getting a concert or a game covered, and that's important. Together, when we start adding second camera, we did multi-camera things. There's a lot of data in here about how many multicam game coverages, how many multicam meetings were covered, and those are exciting. I want you all to participate in some of that if you can. We have new equipment. I often spend the time up here kind of talking about all the new gear. But what we're doing is finding what works, and we're buying more of it, but we're also listening to our membership. When member producers come to us with a challenge, we can either buy gear or get our heads together, and we work together to make something really cool, really exciting, informative, and entertaining. So I'm excited about that. The other thing that often gets overlooked is distribution. That is a big part of the ACMi service. So all of the content we create, we also have to put on the air. And I want to thank Jared and Sean. They do the programming. They take all the programs that you all make, and they put playlists together, and they get it on the air. And not only on cable. If you're a Comcast, Verizon, or RCN subscriber, sorry, I need to say Fios, Xfinity, and Astound subscriber, you can see us on cable. But we now, hey, let's wake this TV up. There we go. ACMi is now on Roku. So for those folks that have left cable, unfortunately we don't see those funds, but we want to know that we're still serving you as a member of this community. So this is a way for you to do it. If you're a Roku customer anywhere in the world, you can download the ACMi app. And if you plug in your Roku, you can see, I don't know if anyone's on camera, but that's the app. That's what it looks like. You can search Arlington Community Media on the Roku and find our channel. Fun thing about that channel is when you select it, you now have 3 channels: the public, education, and government channels. And then you have playlists that both Sean and Jared create. These are what's up, the latest entries into our programming server. You also get different playlists you can watch on demand right through Roku. You can also do this anywhere in the world on our website, acmi.tv. So that's part of our distribution, and we are excited to share, with you our membership, all the exciting things we're doing. But sometimes that distribution part is forgotten. The last thing I wanted to talk about is something we're trying this year. We've done it more this year than ever before, but production services. There are a lot of independent companies out there that are trying to bring concerts to life, live stream them, multicam. ACMi is doing this, not to compete with them, but to make these services available to the nonprofit organizations, the cultural centers, anyone that's doing these events. They make a donation to ACMi, and we pull a crew together, and we come up with a plan to make sure it gets covered. And these are things that are exciting. We did a Havanas concert. We did a number of different things this year that were part of ACMi production services. This is something that we're growing in the coming years. And with all of you, with new ideas and spreading the word that we do this, you will see more exciting coverage of different things going forward. I'm just going to ask if anyone has any questions before I throw this back to Norm, but it's an exciting year 2025 has been, and I'm excited to head into 2026. But if there's no questions.
I don't have a question, I just want to appreciate all you've done for so many years.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. Hello. Next person up is, excuse me, the next person up is the individual that I mentioned earlier, Stuart Relke. And I have to add something. I said Stuart was the person who designed this, yes. But the person who actually made this come alive was the person who did all of the descriptions and the text in this. And that was James Milan, our communications manager. So, Stuart, you want to come up and show us what you got?
Awesome. All right. Hello, everyone. So my name is Stuart Rolk, and I am the production and media manager as of April. And I actually wanted to start today off with a video, a short video, because it shows off a lot of the productions we've done in 2025. So if, we can get that queued up.
Nice job.
So as everyone can see, there's been a ton of productions. So first off, I want to thank all of our members, staff, donors, the board for supporting, all the projects we've done this year. And, some of that stuff is self-explanatory, and you can see a lot of the productions on our YouTube and on our website. So I wanted to dive into some of the things that were a little bit less, or I guess went under the radar this year. So one of the things is events. If you can go to the next slide. So one of the things that I hope to kick off more in the next year, but sort of started this year, is a rough cut media screening. And so what that is, local filmmakers get to show up, show their film to other, filmmakers in the community, and get feedback on work in progress type videos. So this year, yeah, there were a lot of like documentaries and comedy videos and like first time productions. So it's a great way of getting local filmmakers, typically on the younger side, into community media, which I think is something we should focus on and is very important. And then the next thing is, so we participated in Community Media Day this year, and I think it's the first time ACMi has done that. And so what that is it's a day where we try to showcase community access more widely to the community. We try and bring in more members. And this year we had like a production that was open to the public called Pop Astronomy. And it's like an educational astronomy-based production. So we had a lot of people here for that, very exciting. And it also shows people sort of what a more professional staff-run production would look like. And then the last thing I want to get into a little bit is I did some social media related stuff this year. And so we have some numbers, some stats. The first thing actually is more related to the website, but for shows that are on our channel and on the website, for new shows or new episodes of new shows, we had 19. And then for continuing shows, like shows we did in previous years, for new episodes, we have 93, which is quite a lot. And then definitely the online presence was a lot larger this year, especially for our website, which was kind of surprising. But we had 43,000 people view our website, and it was roughly like 4,000 for public education and government. So we had people checking out our channel, and that's up 172% from last year, which is kind of shocking. And then additionally on our YouTube, we had 48,000 hours watched for our content, and an additional 528 subscribers. And yeah, I think most years it has gone up, but this year has been like a significant leap, which is quite exciting. So it could be due to us posting more on social media or just more stuff being made. But yeah, I hope to continue this trend in the next years. And yeah, does anyone have any questions? Yes.
So off the website, are you getting more memberships?
That is a good question. I think membership has remained a little bit consistent. So it's not necessarily translating to membership. It might be translating to donations, but I'm not actually sure about those numbers. Yeah.
Thank you. Cool. I just want to thank you. I don't know if everyone knows, but Stuart actually drew this picture freehand himself. It's not, so he's not only all the things that he's done, he's a great artist, graphic artist. I don't know if you know this, but that picture didn't come from the sky, it came from you, so thank you.
Well said, Mike.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Good job.
Pass back to you. Oh, yeah.
Okay, we have, as soon as he gets his mic on, Sean Keane. Sean is our government access coordinator, but he programs the channels that Jeff mentioned earlier, and he's taking some time off tonight, right, Sean, to come in and talk to us. Come on in.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sean
Hey,
Keane, the
Sean.
Government and Programming Coordinator. Thank you for coming by. I have a short video that should be popping up any second now that will just kind of show some highlights throughout the year. So this was a very busy election season in 2025. Nothing compared to the one we're going to have in 2026 between school committee, housing authority, select board, many different debates. This is our online debate for school committee. Profiles for any candidate that requested it. Memorial Day was one of the best I'd say we've had. Very sad to see our Veterans Affairs officer go. Very fun events in town hall, as well as parades throughout town. And then Veterans Day as well. Yeah, it's still very active in town between the politics, local events. Select Board is meeting as often as ever, getting ready for the upcoming warrant articles coming throughout the pipeline. With town meeting, I believe had some of the most sessions in a couple years. That was very lively. Redevelopment Board is now meeting permanently in the community center, which means we have a lot of new ability to kind of film them. School committee is all settled in their current new facility in the beautifully built administration building. And Town Hall, now unfortunately clock towerless, but yeah, still together. And then coming up will just be some statistics I have throughout the year. Overall, we had 289 hours of content on the government channel alone. Select Board met 25 times with 45 hours of content. School Committee 22 times with 42. And Redevelopment with 21. And then we also have some other statistics for some of our important, but I'd say less watched meetings. Yeah, very productive year, I'd say. And looking at 2026, we might get over 350, I think, for total hours, similar to the pandemic. But yeah, if anyone has any questions.
Sure. How do you stay awake late at night when you're covering these?
Caffeine mostly, and a night owl sleep schedule.
Right.
Thank you all for listening.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you.
And he always answers the phone,
And-
it's very helpful.
Thank you.
Yes. And our communications manager gets his mic on. James Milan.
You want me to just hold it?
I think you can just hold it.
Yep, that's fine.
James Milan, our wordsmith.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I want to echo, first of all, what Norm said, which is there are a number of you here in the studio, those of you who are watching on TV at this moment or in the future. We really appreciate all the audience that we can get. We never know, unfortunately, here at ACMi, like other community media stations, there's no way of knowing unless you let us know who is watching what we do out there and how much it is appreciated, etc. So all the feedback that we get, even if it's just suggestions for improvement, is stuff that we truly value. And the fact that some of you were able to make it through the conditions here tonight, and again, the no parking, I agree. That was a problem for me. So I imagine for others as well. Demonstrates a real commitment on your part that we super appreciate. And speaking about commitment, it has been an interesting year. Different people alluded to it. This is the 12th, I think, annual report that I've put together here at ACMi. And they're all, over time, the good part is that you let go of the things that you get all worried about in the first years that you're doing something big like that, and then you start to enjoy the process itself. And I have been doing that for a while. And this year, what is great every year is the story that we get to tell in these pages. So this is, for us, our opportunity to let everybody out there know who we are, what we do, why we do it a lot of the time, and who we do it with. And the story of all those things this year, from the challenges that have been mentioned, the fact that we were, pretty understaffed here for a while, and the answer to that was to do more as those individuals who were here so that we could keep the good content flowing. We just didn't want to give up any of the stuff that we did. And so for me to have a chance to actually chart that through the year, obviously there's nothing in the annual report that I don't know because I've been living here through the whole year, right? But by the same token, it allows me, and maybe all of us, but certainly me, I get to step back and take a really comprehensive look at what it is that we are doing and who we are. I will just say that at the end of that for this year, I am as proud of my colleagues and our commitment to doing good by our community as I have ever been. And I think that brighter days are ahead for us. I think that we have navigated some pretty choppy waters, and we're hoping that we've got what we need to get to better places. And I really do believe that that is going to be the case, and I think that you all will be around as well to celebrate with us when those things happen. In terms of, you know, I am an unusual person here in a lot of ways, including not being reliably able to operate a camera, I would say. But I am the least technically savvy person here, so I have no video. And I have no great stories to tell about all the things that I produced, because all my colleagues are doing a fantastic job with that. But I will say that for ACMi, our community partners are always a good measure of how we are keeping up with the requests, demands, asks that we are getting from the community about what is going on right now and how we can contribute to either informing people about it or at least being able to make it accessible to folks, whether that is the games and concerts that are so popular with people, all the way to the very specific events that happen in any given year. This year, the 250th reenactment back in April was a monumental undertaking from the inside, I can tell you, by ACMi. And it resulted in what we heard was a really good presentation of a very pivotal event in the nation's history and certainly our town's. And it was something that we took seriously from the beginning, and that involved, as ACMi tends to do, people from all generations. So we had, you know, probably 12 to 70 involved in the coverage of that game, of that event. And that was a great thing. I'll just mention one other collaboration, which was that there was a celebration of an anniversary of the women's suffrage movement that at the Arlington Friends of the Drama, that we were able to be the nexus point for the 3 different groups, all local, the League of Women Voters and Cantilena Chorus and the Friends of the Drama, and putting all that together and then making it possible for people who couldn't be in attendance to actually watch the proceedings. That's a very basic thing that we do, but in this case, it was of enormous significance to a lot of people, and we did hear from some of those voices as well. So as always, whatever the fiscal challenges we have been facing, we have maintained the same spirit here throughout the year. And I am the lucky guy who got to kind of put it all together and present it to you all. So I thank you for listening, and we'll move on to the next person, and really do appreciate you guys being here.
Thank you. Thank you, James. Okay, I mentioned this woman a little bit earlier, Leslie Norman.
Hello, everyone. It's my first annual meeting. And now we're doing different kinds of miking tonight. So we've had collar mics, we're doing holding mics. I'm adjusting mine up here a little bit, and we'll see what Yasmina does with hers. So anyway, so I've been here about 3 months, and my background, as Norm said, is really in public television in various roles. And coming here was really appealing because it's very hyper-local. I had not had a chance to do any of this work before. And 3 months is not a long time to really think about how an organization should move forward. But that's what I'm digging into. And so I've spent the last couple of months really getting to know ACMi and thinking about not just one path forward for us, but the ways that we can move forward as an organization and attract funding through implementing different types of partnerships. We are looking longer term at grants and at a different way of asking for donations. So we're putting together a plan, and this retreat next week is sort of blue sky thinking in the morning. What would we want to do if we could do anything? And then in the afternoon, thinking about what's really practical for us to do and how do we get that funded. So my goal this year is to put together a very comprehensive plan that, I mean, certainly before the end of the year, but hopefully will yield us at least paths forward for funding and hopefully some actual funding. So we'll be keeping you posted on that. I'm delighted to be here. It's a wonderful organization.
Thank you,
Thank you, Leslie. And last but not least, Yasmina Birlanou.
And once again, doing something different with the microphone. Hello, everyone. My name is Yasmina. I'm the new youth coordinator at ACMi. I see some faces that I recognize and some that I don't, which is awesome. I started here this past July, and it's been absolutely wonderful working here. And to start off my portion of this night, I'm actually going to start off with a little video that sort of displays what, the youth program here is and some of our members and what they have to say about being involved. So.
My name is Cooper. I'm in 10th grade. I go to Arlington High School.
My name is Irene, and I'm currently a junior at HS.
I'm Nate. I'm a sophomore at Arlington High School. One word that describes ACMi is creative, because to create a bunch of stuff and come up with different shots you can get, different ways to make it look good.
There's really so much that goes into the broadcasts and so many different aspects of production that we get to work on and build our skills with and explore, and so many new opportunities and ways to use those skills that we do learn in the different productions that we do, which have such a wide range from concerts to sports to government meetings.
I'd say that it's really collaborative because I was able to see how everyone was working together to produce the best live broadcasts. One thing that excites me about community media is being able to film different stuff and being able to be at different events that all describe different aspects of Arlington.
What excites me about community media is being able to create something that people can look back on in the future.
What excites me about community media is having a database and an archive that is more local, that's within the town and includes the community and represents the community. Just there's so many connections in the broadcasting team and the people. It's just like an incredibly valuable opportunity to be able to use the equipment and learn.
So, yeah, before I start talking more specifically about the different types of productions, I just want to say that the group of kids that I've been so privileged to work with here have been amazing. They are some of the most motivated, intelligent young people that I've had the pleasure of working with. They're always there early to set up, they're late to break down, and they really make my job very special and make me very excited to come into work every day. So now I'm going to get into a little bit of some of the different productions that we do as youth. So one of them is sports, and which you saw clips of there. I actually just came from a basketball game. I missed the sort of meet and greet portion of this and most of this meeting because I was over there working with the students and some of our parent volunteers for 2 basketball broadcasts, which is really great. But over here in some of these images, you can see some of the behind the scenes. This is from our fall season. We have a full control room complete with multicam, graphics, replay, and multicam setup. All of the games go live. They're always fully student and parent volunteer run. Occasional adult members get involved as well. But this setup is what we use for sports, and then in the winter it gets moved inside of the gym, which is currently where it's residing for our basketball season. Another massive part of our productions is the public school concerts. So Arlington Public Schools has a really wonderful performing arts department, and they put on tons of concerts throughout the year from the elementary all the way to the high school level. We primarily cover the middle school and high school concerts, which take place in the Arlington High School auditorium, the brand new beautiful auditorium over there. And we have a wide variety of crew members. Here you can see some of our middle school members who have covered the concerts. It's really fun to have them there and have them sort of start getting their toes into live production so that when they come to the high school, they're sort of ready for what is to come with sports, and then the more advanced high school concerts. And this year, you know, we've added a lot of really cool stuff. We added a jib to some of our concert coverage, and also IMAG for anyone who's familiar. It's been really cool. I highly recommend checking out particularly the music tech concerts. Those are my favorite because it sort of incorporates not only our live video portion, but the students in those classes then create music videos that also get rolled in, and a lot of them are very cool and, you know, animated, and they put a lot of hours into it, and it's really a really cool sort of multimedia production that happens. And then finally, one of the last things that sort of is part of the youth is what is outside of our multicam live stream productions, which is Focus Media, which is an after-school club that used to exist prior to me becoming the youth coordinator, and then was on a bit of a hiatus and has now been brought back. It's a weekly after-school meeting with the high schoolers where they, you know, talk about production. We do pre-production. They work on productions that are not our concerts or our sports. So for example, here you can see pictured one of our students, Irene, who's in that video. She does a show as part of Focus Media where she interviews high school alumni, particularly women in STEM, and she interviews them about their chosen career path. So she's interviewed, you know, future engineers, biologists, it's computer science people. It's really a really cool show, and all of the students come together and they come to the studio here. You can see them in the control room working on Irene's show, and that'll be debuting sometime this year, but a lot of it was shot last year. And then this is myself and some of the students at Club Day, where we were recruiting more students to join ACMi, which was great. We've had a couple new students from Focus Media that have then gotten looped into our larger productions. And I don't have a slide for this, but just want to mention that we also are helping run an after-school program at the middle school level. There is a teacher running an after-school TV program there that myself and Jeff will go and assist, and have been working on rebuilding the Audison studio over there. That hopefully that'll be in the 2026 annual general meeting that we'll talk about the Audison studio. But yeah, this sort of concludes my part of what I wanted to share with everyone. I'm super excited to be part of the ACMi family and to continue the wonderful youth program that's been so vibrant for so many years here. Thank you. And I think now, is this the part where we go to questions and answers from folks, whether it's for me or for anyone else?
Questions and answers?
You have the questions, hopefully we have the answers.
Does Gibbs have anything?
The Gibbs, as of right now, we don't have anything specifically with the Gibbs. We actually are covering their concert that is happening tomorrow. So we do cover Gibbs events, but in terms of specific programs with the Gibbs, not at the moment.
So there are no media classes at the high school level?
Oh, there's many.
No, there are. There's filmmaking, there's animation.
They do have filmmaking?
Yes, they do. They have filmmaking and advanced filmmaking at the high school. And we work with the filmmaking teacher there for the A-Town Film Festival, which is another big event that I haven't gotten to experience yet, as I came on in July as the youth coordinator, but I'll experience my first one this year, which I'm excited about.
So they both have that and the film club, so there's
Yes.
two things.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Okay, well, I'm going to pass it over to John.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you all for coming tonight. As you can see, our staff's been very busy, and like I said before, we're very proud of them and proud of everything that we do here at ACMi. So thank you for coming. Question?
Yes, I'd like to approach, if I may.
No, all right. To get the mic. Get the traveling mic.
Well, first of all, I want to thank everybody who has contributed in whatever way that you have to ACMi. It really is just means so much to our community. And I just want to thank this crew. John and I have worked together. We've known each other all our lives. And Norm and I have worked together. I've been on the board for, I'd say, approaching 15 years. And I've always appreciated how much sweat equity that you've put into this. And you've meant so much to the community. And digital media is the wave of the future. You've done so much in promoting performance arts, and that's not just sports, that's music, that's acting, that's presentations, and the exposure that you've allowed that to have has meant so much to the community that I wanted to thank you. And this year, we're really making a movement into development to earn money. And with that said, my mother was always very appreciative of this community and how it has welcomed us as a family, and the education of children was very important, and you do that, and you always incorporate that. So in her memory and from the Privatera Family Charitable Foundation, I want to make a contribution of $5,000.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Phil, thanks so much. It's all $1 bills.
I went to the bank and she says, how would you like that? And I said, in nickels. And she,
Can we blow this up into one of those big things?
well, if you keep doing such a great work, I'm sure there'll be a lot more appreciation. You've always welcomed us as a family into this community, and it's very hard when you come from an inner city. We're East Boston people, and it's very difficult to make a transition. I remember when I first came here, there was a woman, Miss Krapelka.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
And Paul Krapelka was my first friend, and we would play every afternoon. And little by little, we were slowly, but very heartily welcomed into the Arlington community. And we just want to give back and make sure that we keep building this community into a better and better place.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
That's a good start. Very much.
Great stuff. Great stuff, Luke. Thank you.
Well, that was a surprise.
Yeah, I know. Jeez.
Thank you, Phil.
Yeah.
We're going to have to end every annual general meeting with a nice
Well, unless anyone else wants to come up and give us money, that's going to be it for this year. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.